Hi, I'm Dave. Let me guess. You've got a long list of things you want to do, stuff you need to do, maybe even stuff you're excited to do, but somehow you're still sitting there, paralyzed. You want to get started, but your brain refuses to cooperate. And even when you do finally start, you either get distracted halfway through or go so deep into it that you forget to eat, sleep, or move for hours. Sound familiar? That's the reality for a lot of us with ADHD, and it's not just about willpower or laziness. It's about how our brains are wired. So today, I want to walk you through exactly why getting things done is so hard for us, and a deceptively simple tool that can help you finally break through that wall. Let's dive in. The 3 big barriers to getting stuff done. Let's start with what's working against us. 1. Getting started feels impossible. The first hurdle is just starting. For most people, getting started on a task is mildly unpleasant. For someone with ADHD, it can feel like trying to lift a boulder using spaghetti noodles. Why? Because we tend to experience time in extremes. Everything is either now or not now, and not now is where most of our tasks live. When we were kids, adults constantly yanked us into the now. Now brush your teeth. Now finish your homework. Now stop throwing Legos at your sister. But as adults, that external structure disappears. Now, we're in charge of pushing our own internal go button, and a lot of the time, we can't even find where that button is. That's why we tend to thrive in high-pressure situations. When a crisis hits, our brain finally recognizes this is now, and boom, we're suddenly productive, focused, efficient. But the goal isn't to wait for life to become an emergency. We need better systems. 2. Distraction isn't a character flaw. Okay, let's say you manage to start. You finally sit down, open your laptop, and tell yourself, alright, time to focus. Then 5 minutes later, you're on your phone, or deep into researching how jelly beans are made, or staring at a spot on the wall, wondering if you've always had that mole. Here's the thing, that doesn't mean you're not trying. Your brain just functions differently. Specifically, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for things like attention, planning, and self-control, works a little less predictably for people with ADHD. In fact, studies show that when neurotypical people try to focus, this area of the brain lights up with activity. But when someone with ADHD tries to do the same, that activity can actually decrease. It's like the harder we try to focus, the more our brain rebels. There's one exception though. If the task is fascinating, urgent, or emotionally stimulating, we can lock in. It's like a switch flips. This is why we can spend 5 hours organizing our playlist alphabetically, but struggle to write a 2-line email. 3. Hyperfocus, blessing or curse. Now let's say you do start. You manage to stay focused, but there's another trap waiting. We don't know when to stop. This is called hyperfocus, and while it can feel like a superpower, it often becomes a problem, because once we're locked in, we lose all sense of time, physical needs, and everything else. We skip meals. We forget appointments. Our legs fall asleep. And here's where perfectionism kicks in. If we know there's still time before the deadline, we'll keep tweaking, refining, adjusting. We chase the illusion of perfect, even if it means we never actually finish. This is also why procrastination can feel safer. If we wait until the last possible minute, we know when to start. The final hour. We stay focused because pressure forces our brain to cooperate, and we know when to stop when the clock runs out. It's a coping strategy, but it's not a great one, because the moment something unexpected happens, you get sick, the internet dies, your file gets corrupted, you're out of time and out of luck. A timer that can change everything. Now, I want to show you a trick that works with your brain instead of against it. It's not a pill. It's not an app. It's not some guru's morning routine. It's a kitchen timer. No, really. Stay with me. This technique is often called the Pomodoro method, but I like to think of it as the brain sprint timer. Here's how it works. The simple 4-step process. Step 1, choose one task, just one. No multitasking. Step 2, set your timer for 25 minutes. Step 3, work on that task and only that task until the timer rings. Step 4, take a 5-minute break. Stand up, stretch, pet your dog, breathe, then repeat. If you get distracted, like opening social media or starting a different task, reset the timer. Start again. If someone interrupts you, politely ask if they can wait until your timer is up. It's not about being strict. It's about creating a game that your brain can play and win. Why it works, especially for ADHD brains. This method works because it solves all 3 of the problems we talked about earlier. You know when to start. The act of setting the timer flips that internal go switch. Suddenly, not now becomes now, without needing a crisis to trigger it. You can stay focused. You're not trying to concentrate for 3 hours straight, just 25 minutes. That's a short sprint, and your brain can often handle that. Plus, the ticking timer adds a small sense of urgency, which mimics the pressure we usually only feel during a last last-minute panic. But this time, it's controlled. You know when to stop. The timer gives you a clean ending. No more accidentally working for 6 hours straight and burning out. You're building boundaries, one timer at a time. Advanced mode, defeating magical thinking. Here's something else that can transform your productivity. Tracking how many timer rounds each task actually takes. This breaks the ADHD habit of magical thinking. The belief that something will only take a few minutes when it really takes an hour. Over time, your brain starts to learn how long things really take. That means fewer surprises, fewer all-nighters, and more accurate planning. It's like time travel for your future self. Final thoughts. This technique isn't just about productivity. It's about reclaiming control over your time, your energy, and your sense of momentum. Because when you start stacking tiny wins, 25 minutes at a time, you build real confidence. You start to believe, I can do things. I am capable. I'm not broken. I just need different tools. So try it. Set that timer. Start with one round, then another, and let your brain surprise you. I'm Dave, and I'll see you in the next one.